Hey, it's Jag, and today is all about the neck. Well, today I'm going to start making the templates for the neck for my GGBO build. I've looked at a lot of different ways to do this, and I think I've come up with what's going to work for me. So first I'm going to start with the neck I'm going to try to model. This is the guitar that I call the Beast. It's one I built from parts. It's a pine body relic. I really like this guitar. I want to copy as closely as I can this neck. This is probably my favorite feeling neck. Butch's original neck might be close, but I actually think this one's I like a little better. Butch's is closer to a D or an oval C. This one is pretty much a modern C, and it's not too thick, not too thin. It feels just great down here. How the neck feels up at the top, unless it was a super big club, I'm not really too picky up there. I do play up there, but it just doesn't seem to really affect me much as long as it's not super thick. To me, it's how the neck feels where I would be playing, you know, a lot of the full-bodied chords, and whether I can get my hand around it. My fingers are kind of short and stubby, so this neck just feels really great. So first thing I'm going to do is take this neck off, and then I will show you how I'm going to try and copy it. Well, that's the neck off. Now what I'm going to do is trace this. I have some 1/4-inch MDF. That's not what my template's going to be made out of. I'm using 1/4-inch MDF to make the pattern. I have some 3/8-inch plexiglass that I'm actually going to use to make the templates. I haven't really ever worked with cutting plexiglass for this kind of thing before. I'm going to do it on the router table. We'll see how it works. If that doesn't work out, I'll get some thicker MDF to make my templates out of. You might have noticed when I took the tuning machines off, I wrote on them. What I do when I take the tuning machines off a guitar is I put I don't know if you can see that, I just number which string that tuning machine was for. I use a Sharpie, and you can just wipe that off with an alcohol swab. It comes right off. But the reason I like to track 6 through 1 is years ago when I first got locking tuners, I bought, actually they were cheap ones, and I found that they wore for the string that they were on. They would work fine, but I did some work on a guitar, took all the tuning machines off. When I put them back on, I just put them back on in whatever order. And the high E and the G were slipping after that. And it took me a long time to figure out what was going on. The little clamping mechanism had worn to the shape of the lower E and A, which it turns out that's what I had put on there. These are the Planet Waves locking tuners. I like them. These are by far my favorite locking tuners. And they're made very well, and I'm sure that's pretty hard steel in there. But because it happened to me once that a set of these wore down and I had troubles with them, I just always like to make sure I put the same tuning machine back in for the same hole in case that happens or wears over time. The one thing that's nice about Fender style necks is the back of the headstock and the back of the heel are on an even plane. So I can just put it down flat here, and I can trace the heel and the headstock. I'm not going to copy the headstock shape, but I do want to get these flutes, and then I will draw my headstock in over that. So my plan is to stick this down with double-sided tape on the back of the headstock and the back of the heel, and then I will trace fully around the headstock and around the heel, and I can just draw the straight lines to connect the heel tracing and the headstock tracing. So I'm going to make 2 of these. If I don't mess up the first one, I will trace that and make a second as a safety copy. These, like I say, are going to kind of be master templates. I'm going to do the actual templates on my sheet of plexiglass that I have up there. I will double stick this down. I will trace around the headstock and around the heel, and then I will take the neck off, and I will connect the end of the heel line and the end of the headstock line just using a ruler. And then I'll just double check that the width is right. I've taken all the dimensions from this neck. I know how wide it is up at the nut. I know how wide it is at the heel. I also know how thick it is at 1st fret and 12th fret. So first thing I'm going to do is measure this off, cut it. I'll set up my, my table saw fence for the width of the strips I want, and I'll rip 2 of those off. Okay, well that's the template blanks made for the neck. I've got 2. They're 28 inches long by 5 inches wide, and that's plenty big enough to trace the neck onto here. I made a slight change of plan as I was working. I glanced up and I had some 1/2 inch MDF up there in my storage, and I thought that probably 1/2 inch being a little stiffer and a little stronger would probably work better to make these master templates. At any rate, we're ready to stick the neck down to the first template blank and trace the headstock and neck. Okay, well I'm going to see if I can get my crappy bandsaw to at least agree with me enough to rough cut the templates. I'm going to rough cut with the neck on here, because what I'm thinking of doing is taking it to the router table just to route around the end of the neck before I then finish the rest of the template off. I'd like to get the end of the neck is the part that I'm the most concerned about getting exactly right. The rest I think I can shape pretty good with my spindle sander. So I'll just get rigged up with my respirator and stuff, and we'll see if this pile of junk here will actually work to at least cut this template. Well, there might be some hope for that little bandsaw yet. It did okay cutting this. So what I'm going to do now is, like I say, I just want to router around the heel. I want to try and get that as exact as possible to this neck as I can. I've got a flush trim bit in the router table. I'm just going to come in just before the end of the heel here and just go around back to just before the end of the heel on the other side. That went well. It followed the contours exactly. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the neck off of here. Then I'm going to, I think what I'm going to do while I have the router set up here, I'm going to draw that line, and then I'm going to see if I can double stick tape down this straight edge. and then use that to follow a straight edge all the way up the neck on both sides. Then all I need to do is get on the spindle sander and clean up the neck, or clean up the headstock. I've got the center line redrawn on the neck. I've traced the lines from the nut down to where I had routed the heel. I measured it. It all looks like it's pretty close to exactly the measurements I took off of the neck the other day. So I'm just going to use the masking tape and super glue trick to glue this off-cut piece of oak down on the neck, and use that to run the bearing on my router so that I can get a straight edge down each side of the neck. So I'll do this side, then I'll take it off and do the glue on this side, and we should be ready to just do the headstock end. Well, I guess the little bandsaw is going to live around here for a while because it's come in helpful not once but twice today. I've got my my headstock drawing cut out and glued down to a piece of this MDF, and I'm ready to rough cut it to make a template for the headstock. So I'm going to rough cut this, and then we'll get the spindle sander out, I'll sand it up, get it so I like it, and then we'll transfer that over to the neck template. Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with that headstock shape. Nice and smooth all the way around. Of course, there'll be hand sanding on the neck once I think I've got it done anyway, so this is really good. So next thing that I want to do is get that headstock traced out and cut on the template. Okay, I think I'm going to call it quits there. Here you can see that's the template. A little beyond rough cut, I would say, but there's just a little bit of finessing I got to do. I have one little sort of bump here to sand. I got a few things to sort of finesse on this. I'm very happy with it. I'm liking the way it's looking. It does fit in the body of the beast, but that's a pretty loose neck pocket. So I want to make a tighter neck pocket for the two I'm building for the GGBO. So that will be in the next video. Off camera, I will probably just do the little bits of finessing to get this shaped exactly the way I want it. And then I will actually make another master template as well once I get that done. In the next video, I'll show you what I've done on the neck templates. We will do we'll work on the template for the neck pocket. That's it for this one. Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe if you found this entertaining or interesting. Check out my band One Soul Thrust. The links, as always, are in the description below. And I really appreciate you guys coming and watching this. So until the next video, we'll see you.